Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Students, today we will start a new chapter, that is chapter number 4, Business Services. Okay, so first let's learn the meaning of service. What exactly is a service? For example, you want to buy a cake. Okay, you go to a pastry shop, you give money and you purchase a cake. Okay, in the second example, in another instance, you want medical advice, so you go to a doctor, or you go to a nutritionist or dietitian for a diet plan. Okay, so here you get a service from the doctor or the dietitian. In the first case, you get an item or a good, that is the cake. In the second example, you get a service. Okay, so there is a difference between a service and a good. Okay, so let's see the definition of services. Services are those separately identifiable, essentially intangible activities that provide satisfaction of wants and are not necessarily linked to the sale of a product or another service. Okay, so goods are physical products which can be delivered to the consumer. Okay, whereas service is an intangible activity that provides satisfaction to the consumer. Okay, next let's see the nature of services. Here there are 5 points. Okay, the first one is intangibility. Now services are intangible. Okay, you cannot touch or taste. You cannot touch or taste it. Okay, you cannot touch a service, right? You can only experience it or feel it. Okay, that is first one, intangibility. Second one is inconsistency. Here services are inconsistent. This is because there is no standard product here. Each service has to be performed exclusively at different time, because different consumers have different expectations and preferences. Okay, that is why services are inconsistent. Third one is inseparability. Okay, see, for a good, we can manufacture it today and we can sell it later on. Okay, we can manufacture a car now and sell it later on. But in service, this is not possible. The production and consumption has to take place at the same time. Okay, so here under services, the production and consumption is simultaneous. Okay, they are not separable. Fourth one is inventory. Okay, inventory means it is the stock of goods which is store and keep. Okay, goods can be stored and used for future purposes. Okay, but you cannot store services, right? For example, a flight ticket, okay, an air ticket, it can be stored. Okay, but the journey, okay, the journey will be experienced only when the airways provides it, right? So there is no inventory under services. Okay, you cannot store it. Fifth one is involvement. This is one of the important characteristic of service. Okay, here the customer participates in the delivery process. Okay, he has the opportunity to get the services altered according to his preferences. Okay, here under services, the customer's involvement is present. Okay, next let's see the difference between services and goods. First one, on the basis of nature. Okay, services are an activity or a process. Goods are a physical object. Okay, goods are physical objects. Second one is on the basis of type, that is services are heterogeneous. Okay, it is not the same service is not given to different people. Okay, the service will differ according to the preferences of the people. Goods are homogeneous. Okay, that is they are of the same kind. Third one, on the basis of intangibility, services are intangible and goods are tangible. Fourth one, on the basis of inconsistency. Under services, different customers have different demands. For example, mobile services. Under goods, different customers getting standardized demands fulfilled. Okay, that is mobile phones. Next one is on the basis of inseparability. As I said earlier, services are simultaneously produced as well as consumed. Okay, eating ice cream in a restaurant, example. Goods, there is separation of production and consumption here. Okay, the goods can be bought and stored. Okay, it can be sold at a later date. Next one is on the basis of inventory. It cannot be kept in stock. Services cannot be kept in stock. Goods can be kept in stock. Last one, on the basis of involvement. As I said earlier, under services, participation of customers is present at the time of service delivery. Okay, but under goods, there is no involvement at the time of delivery. For example, when you are manufacturing a vehicle. Okay, so these are the differences between services and goods. Next, let's see the types of services. Now here there are three types of services, that is business services, social services and personal services. Okay, under business services, these are the services which are used by companies or organization for their day-to-day activities. Okay, for example, banking, insurance, transportation, warehousing and communication services. Okay, we will be learning each of these in the coming classes. Okay, so business services are the services which are used by business enterprise for their day-to-day activities. Okay, next one is social services. What are social services? They are those services which aims at attaining social goals. For example, improving the standard of living of weaker sections of the society, or providing good education facilities to the needy, or providing health care in slum areas. Okay, so these services are provided voluntarily. Okay, for example, the activities done by NGOs. Third one is personal services. They are the services which are experienced differently by different consumers. Okay, they cannot be consistent in nature. It will depend on the preferences of the consumer. Okay, example for this is tourism, restaurants, recreational services, etc. Okay, so these are the three kinds of business services. Next topic is banking. Okay, now what are banks? Banks are institutions which accepts money from people, okay, and also repays them whenever they require. Okay, and it also earns a margin of profit by lending money. Okay, so banks are institutions which accept money on deposits, repay the people on demand, and also earn a margin of profit by lending money. Okay, now there are four kinds of banks: commercial banks, cooperative banks, specialized banks and central banks. Okay, now what are commercial banks? These are the banks which are governed by Indian Banking Regulation Act 1949. Okay, commercial banks are institutions, or they are the banks which are governed by Indian Banking Regulation Act 1949. Okay, these banks accept deposit of money from the people and also lends them whenever they require. Okay, here there are two types of commercial banks: public sector banks and private sector banks. Public sector banks are those in which the government has an important role. Okay, here the main objective is social objective and profitability is secondary here. Under public sector banks, the main aim is social objective. Okay, example for public sector bank is SBI. Okay, next one is private sector bank. These are the banks which are owned and managed and also controlled by people. Okay, by private promoters. Okay, private sector banks are owned, managed and controlled by private promoters. Example is HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank. Next one is cooperative banks. Cooperative banks are governed by State Cooperative Societies Act. Okay, cooperative banks are governed by State Cooperative Societies Act. Their main aim is to provide cheap credit or loan to the members, okay, loan to the members of the cooperative society, okay. It is an important source of rural credit, that is for agriculture, mainly the farmers, they are given loans on low rates of interest, okay. Next one is specialized banks. Specialized banks, they are the foreign exchange banks, okay, or industrial banks. They provide financial support to industries, okay, for their various projects and import and export procedure, okay. Next one is central bank. Central bank of any country supervises, controls and regulates the activities of all the commercial banks in the country. Okay, in India it is the RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Okay, this central bank of any country, it supervises and controls the activities of all the commercial banks. Okay. Okay, next let's see the functions of commercial banks. Okay, the commercial banks have 5 functions, that is acceptance of deposits, lending of funds, check facility, remittance of funds and allied services. First one is acceptance of deposits. Commercial banks accepts money or deposits from the people, okay, and this money, this deposit is used as the basis for the loans which they provide to the people, okay. The same money which the people deposit in the bank is used to provide loans to other people, okay. So here the bank is also a borrower as well as the lender, okay. So as borrowers, banks pay interest, and as lenders they grant loans and get interest, okay. Now here there are 3 kinds of accounts. These deposits are taken through 3 kinds of accounts, that is current account, savings account and fixed deposit. Current account deposits can be withdrawn to the extent of the balance at any time, okay. We can withdraw the money from current account, okay, at any time without giving any prior notice. We can withdraw the money, okay. There is no limit to the extent of how much we can withdraw, okay. Next one is savings account. Savings account are for encouraging savings by the individuals, okay. In savings account, banks will pay rate of interest which is decided by the RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, okay. Fixed accounts are time deposits with high rate of interest, okay, and there is certain restriction on the withdrawal of money from these fixed accounts, unlike the current account, okay. Next one is lending of funds. Second major activity is to lend. First one is to deposit, is to accept deposits, right. Second one is to lend money to the people, okay. This is done in the form of loans and advances, okay. These advances can be made in the form of overdraft, cash credit, discount trade bills, consumer credit services, etc. Okay. These banks, they give loans to various industries and other trade activities to carry on their day-to-day activities. Okay. Next one is check facility. Banks provide this service to the customers by collecting their checks drawn on other banks, okay. Now there are 2 types of checks, that is bearer checks, which can be encashed immediately at the bank counter, okay. The bearer check can be cashed immediately at the bank counter. The second check is cross check, okay. These checks, they can be deposited only to the payee, okay, to whom the check is given. Only to that person the check can be deposited, only to that person's account the check can be deposited, okay. Next one is remittance of funds. This is one of the important feature of commercial bank, okay. It provides the facility of transferring the money from one place to another, okay. Here the fund can be transferred from one place to another using bank draft or mail transfer, we can call it. Okay, and for this fund transfer, there are certain charges which is called as commission charges. Okay, last one is allied services. Banks also provide other services such as bill payments, locker facilities, etc. Okay, you know what is a locker facilities, right? We can pay certain amount and buy a locker in the bank. Okay, and all important documents or gold ornaments can be kept safely in the locker. Okay, so these are some of the other services such as locker facilities, bill payments, and also selling and buying of shares and debentures. Okay, this is also done by the bank. Okay, so these are the various functions of commercial banks, that is accepting deposits, lending of loans, third one is check facility, fourth one remittance of funds, that is transfer of fund from one place to another, and last one is allied services. Okay, that's all for today, students. The next topic, e-banking, will be done in the next class. Okay.